Now, Shifters, nothing is ever straightforward in the build-up to the draft. There's been so much conjecture about who's going to go number one. For a long time there, it looked like it was going to be Christian Petracca. Now we believe it might be Paddy McCartan. Which way do you think it's going to go?
Well, I think it's a great debate, and you can see both points of view on this one. You go for the tall forward or the midfielder. Petracca's the midfielder at 186 centimetres, and he's the form player of the year. He dominated national championships with his breakaway pace. He's a unique prospect. He's powerful, explosive, all of those things. He also can play the medium forward type role. On the other hand, Patrick McCartan, he's your tall forward.
Pick 2, Melbourne.
Player number 214953, Christian Petracca, Eastern Rangers, Beverly Hills Junior Football Club.
Well, Jono, one thing we do know with the D's, with picks 2 and 3, they've got the opportunity now to land a couple of potential stars.
Well, what they get here with Christian is a hard and strong marking half forward. He's turned his game into a dynamic and game-changing midfielder, drawing comparisons to Port Adelaide's reigning MVP Robbie Gray, and we've all seen the heights Robbie Gray produced this year, more so with his agility through the contest and pushing forward, and that's exactly what Christian Petracca does. Classic inside mid where he hunts the footy, shrugs, tackles, wins clearances, applies defensive pressure himself. His ability to go forward, take a mark, kick goals. He's got that basketball background. That's where the agility comes from. He's played in rep sides with Dante Exum. We all know what he's doing in the NBA at the moment, and he won the Lark medal in the NAB AFL Under-18 Championships as the BNF. His combine scores were very, very good as well. He's a motivated young man. He's the perfect fit for the D's as they develop their next midfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 2 selection, Christian Petracca, now a Demon.
All right, Sando, so what do Melbourne do with pick number 3? They just picked the gun midfielder, they go just best available talent, or perhaps a different type, maybe a tall?
No, I think they go best available talent. I think they keep stockpiling mids. We've seen, obviously, Petracca now being selected. I think with Jones, I think with Dom Tyson, with Salem, they've added Ben Newton over the trade period as well. I think they keep stockpiling mids.
Let's find out as we go back to Gillon McLaughlin.
Pick 3, Melbourne.
Player number 215163, Angus Brayshaw, Sandringham Dragons, Hampton Rovers.
Get excited, Melbourne fans. You've added grunt and class to your already young midfield with Angus Brayshaw. He looks ready to make an impact in his first year. Elite inside player. He's learning how to use his pace to break away from stoppages, makes great decisions, uses the ball well on both sides of his body, regularly impacts the scoreboard as well. His stoppage work has seen him compared to Sam Mitchell, maybe with a little bit more speed though. He's also superb defensively. Worked so well throughout the TAC Cup this year. One of his best games with 29 touches and kicking 3 goals. But as you mentioned, Sando, this man here adds already to an already depth with the Melbourne midfield with Viney, Toompa, Salem, Jones, Vince, Tyson. Add in Petracca, add in Brayshaw. Outstanding.
Angus Brayshaw, selection 3 for Melbourne.
The great thing, Sando, about an Angus Brayshaw is that he's a ready-made player. So one of your early picks gets to come in and should be able to play straight away.
Exactly. You can see Brayshaw coming in next year and having an impact straight away.
Exciting times for the D's.
In their new Guernseys, would you welcome the top 10 of season 2014 into 2015? At number 1, Patrick McCartan. Number 2, Christian Petracca. Now with Melbourne, also with the Demons, Angus Brayshaw. Last year's top 10 played 134 games and kicked 67 goals in just their first season. I'm sure this year's group will be just as successful. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the top 10 for the 2014 NAB AFL Draft.
Shifter, I want to cast your mind back about 6 years or so. We've got a photo that's worth looking at for one very, very good reason. This is the Victorian under-12 team. 3 of the players from that team have gone in the top 10. I speak of Moore, Petracca and McCartan.
It's amazing how often this occurs at the under-12 level. They do get it right. I remember going along to the Vic under-12s one day and Gary Ablett Jr. was playing.
Pick 14, Adelaide Crows.
Player number 214981, Jake Lever, Calder Cannons, Romsey Football Club.
2 and 3 went to the D's, which means they picked up a couple of very handy players, and Anthony Hudson has caught up with them.
Thank you, Jason. Well, the Demons, 2 early picks. In fact, picks 2 and 3 with Christian Petracca and Angus Brayshaw, and the boys are both with me. Congratulations, guys. First of all, to you, Angus, how's it feel to be a Demon?
Oh, it's everyone's dream to get drafted to an AFL club, and I think I've said it before, but to be there with a good mate like Christian Petracca, it's just incredible. I'm incredibly lucky and very thankful for the opportunity.
You boys are actually rooming together up here, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, we are, which is the funny thing. So
yeah, what a coincidence.
It's good to go home knowing that you're playing with someone next year, maybe. So yeah,
exactly. It's great.
Well, Christian, how's it been for you? Because there's been a lot of speculation about who's going to go number 1, and for a while it was said that it might be you. How have you sort of dealt with all that, and then you've slipped all the way down to number 2?
Yeah, there's speculation. There was a lot of speculation on me or Paddy, and whether the Saints decided on who it was. And look, I just had to control what I control, and I was just taking it day by day, and just working hard on the off season. And yeah, I'm just stoked to go to Melbourne. And as Paddy said, it's just a number, and wherever you go, just make the most of your opportunities.
Well, obviously you two are good mates, but for Demons fans, I suppose, now to have had 2 young elite midfielders together, it is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, I think, the Melbourne Football Club, I was lucky enough to spend a week there early in the year through the AAS, and just being in the club and being in the environment, it's a great place to be. And obviously they've got the Roosie, and he's incredible as well. We all know how good he is, so it's a very exciting place to be at the moment. And stoked to be here, and words can't describe how happy I am and how excited I am for the future as well. It's great.
Well, one last question. There's been a lot of talk about Melbourne going on the paleo diet. Now, do you boys like your bread and your pasta, or can you handle that?
I am Italian, so it's going to be hard getting off the wood fire pizza and the pasta, but whatever it takes, I guess.
Do what you got to do, eh?
Yeah, exactly right. Thanks very much.
Too excited, Melbourne boys. Back to you, Jace.
Yes, whatever it takes for a couple of young Demons. But Sando, from the Melbourne Football Club's perspective, they've been down for so long, but they're starting to get some genuine quality in there. There's light at the end of the tunnel when you get players like that coming into the system.
Jason, you're right. This side is going to be very, very good in a few years' time. I mean, maybe even next year. They've put some really good young mids together, plus Hogan, the key position forward. This team is going to be very good very soon.
Don't worry about Hogan as well, because if they get Dawes up and running, he could certainly go into and play a centre-half back position for the D's in the future. I like him as a defender more so than a forward.
Ed Langdon is the brother of Tom, the Collingwood defender. Good to see him get up. And O.McDonald will join his brother Tom at Melbourne.
And good to see some brothers reunited at that club.
Together.
Christian Petracca and Angus Brayshaw will go to Melbourne, and Sando, we spoke about them already adding to the Melbourne's already strong midfield, or young strong midfield, with Viney and Tumpus and Salem going through there, Nathan Jones, Dom Tyson.
Yeah, they're going to be a really good side, Melbourne.
Before we look at Melbourne selections, Dicko has caught up with Paul Roos.
Roosie picked 2 and 3 inside mids, hard, powerful types, but Petracca impressive and Brayshaw the same.
Yeah, look, we're obviously really pleased to get pick 2 and 3. You'd expect to get a couple of good players, but now the test for us is to develop into good AFL players. They come out of the TAC Cup, both of them, both done well at state level and obviously TAC Cup level, but it's a different level going to AFL. So now we've got to develop them and make sure they become good players.
Nice addition too, father-son with the stretch name to go through the Melbourne colours again.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, all the father-sons are always good when you get them to your club with a bit of history there, so that's exciting too.
What have you thought of the event tonight? A big build-up to the number 1. Any surprises?
Yeah, well, I think they kept us on tenterhooks there for a while, knowing was it Christian or Paddy, and you can see why it's a tough decision. They're both very different players, so it is a big build-up. It's a big event now, so maybe a bit of overkill, but that's the way it is.
Thanks for your time, Rosie.
Thanks, mate.
Now, Jono, I don't think it's unfair to say that Melbourne perhaps haven't got the full value out of all their early picks over the last 5 or 6 years, but it's hard to draw a line through any of those names and say that they're not going to be good players.
Well, that's right. The last couple of years they've done quite well, and it continues tonight as well. Christian Petracca, Angus Brayshaw, we've found out a fair bit about those guys, but Billy Stretch is one there. He's a very classy wingman, so he'll add a fair bit there, and you can see him and Jimmy Tumpus going head-to-head, maybe for a spot on the wing for the D's next season.
Great to see Alex Neal-Bullen, a midfielder, then a teammate of Billy Stretch. The two boys with the senior experience. They played most of the year at senior level, as well as being stars for the winning South Australian side in the National 18s.
And O.McDonald, brother of Tom, is he the same size?
He is. He's a big boy, a big unit, played at centre half back, 196 centimetres, so that's your 6'5", and had a terrific year for the North Ballarat Rebels.